the garden, and she wandered into Mother's bedroom to look for scraps. On the bed table she discovered a great many sheets of fine paper, gathered them up, shredded them into tiny pieces, and stuffed her case, then sewed up the fourth side. That night there was a hue and cry over the house. Father's great speech for the Port Authority had been lost. Rooms were ransacked, servants questioned. Finally Mother came into the nursery. "Keisha, I suppose you didn't see some papers on a table in our room?" "Oh, yes," she said. "I tore them up for my surprise." "What?" screamed Mother. "Come straight down to the dining room this instant." And she was dragged down to where Father was pacing to and fro, hands behind his back. "Well?" he said sharply. Mother explained. He stopped and stared in a stupefied manner at the child. "Did you do that?" "No," she whispered. "Mother, go up to the nursery and fetch down the damn thing. See that the child's put to bed this instant." Crying too much to explain, she lay in the shadowed room, watching the evening light sift through the Venetian blinds and trace a sad little pattern on the floor. Then Father came into the room with a ruler in his hands. "I'm going to whip you for this," he said. "Oh, no, no!" she screamed, cowering down under the bedclothes. He pulled them aside. "Sit up," he commanded, "and hold out your hands. You must be taught once and for all not to touch what does not belong to you." "But it was for your birthday." Down came the ruler on her little pink palms. Hours later, when the grandmother had wrapped her in a shawl and rocked her in the rocking chair, the child cuddled close to her soft body. "What did Jesus make fathers for?" she sobbed. "Here's a clean hanky, darling, with some of my lavender water on it. Go to sleep, pet. You'll forget all about it in the morning. I tried to explain to Father, but he was too upset to listen tonight." But the child never forgot. Next time she saw him, she whipped both hands behind her back, and a red colour flew into her cheeks. The MacDonalds lived in the next-door house. 5 children there were. Looking through a hole in the vegetable garden fence, the little girls saw them playing tag in the evening. The father with the baby Mac on his shoulders, 2 little girls hanging onto his coat-tails, ran round and round the flower beds, shaking with laughter. Once she saw the boys turn the hose on him, and he made a great grab at them, tickling them until they got the hiccups. Then it was she decided there were different sorts of fathers. Suddenly, one day, Mother became ill, and she and Grandmother drove into town in a closed carriage. The little girl was left alone in the house with Alice, the general. That was all right in the daytime, but while Alice was putting her to bed, she grew suddenly afraid. "What'll I do if I have a nightmare?" she asked. "I often have nightmares, and then Granny takes me into her bed. I can't stay in the dark. It all gets whispery. What'll I do if I do?" "You just go to sleep, child," said Alice, pulling off her socks and whacking them against the bed rail. "And don't you holler out and wake your poor pa." But the same old nightmare came. The butcher with a knife and a rope, who grew nearer and nearer, smiling that dreadful smile, while she could not move, could only stand still, crying out, "Grandma! Grandma!" She woke shivering to see Father beside her bed, a candle in his hand. "What's the matter?" he said. "Oh, a butcher, a knife. I want Granny." He blew out the candle, bent down and caught up the child in his arms, carrying her along the passage to the big room. A newspaper was on the bed, a half-smoked cigar balanced against his reading lamp. He pitched the paper on the floor, threw the cigar into the fireplace, then carefully tucked up the child. He lay down.